Program partners also provide financial support for the program, particularly with respect to the program's centerpiece, the Branch Simulation Lab. The lab opened in 2009 and provides students with the opportunity to gain hands-on experience in all aspects of running a distribution branch. The only things missing?
Why, yes, the smell of coffee and a popcorn machine.
3 years ago, Dr. Jim Toppin, who helped found the Industrial Distribution Program at East Carolina University and formerly worked in distribution, was charged with designing the lab, which he modeled after an HD Supply training branch he used to manage.
When I came, they brought me into this large empty room. This was all one complex. This obviously this wall wasn't here, but it was just one big empty room. They said, "Jim, we've been allocated this space to build a lab. We don't have any money. What do you think a lab should look like?" One thing I knew when I started the program at East Carolina University was they didn't really get to know what distribution was until they got out there. You conceptually kind of can tell them, but kids were surprised that they had a warehouse even, when they went to work for a distributor. So I told the guys the best thing we can do is build a branch and run it like a training branch. That's the best thing we can do for our kids. And we'll give our kids one step up on anybody that these companies are hiring. So they said, "Well, we don't even know what a branch should look like." I said, "Well, that's easy." So I began designing a branch that would fit in the allocated space that we have for this lab. We got that all approved. We still had no money. So we came up with this partnership idea, getting companies to partner, to buy in to what we were doing, and that's how we started the Partners Program. And this branch was built with our partners and won a $50,000 grant.
Toppin provided me with a guided tour of the branch and how it functions to provide students with the most realistic experience possible in an academic setting.
Again, we want it to look like a real branch. Heart of any branch starts at the city counter. Okay, so we want it to have every component that the branch has. We have a city counter, we want role plays here. How to manage a showroom. Even though our showroom is small, it has every component in here. We've been really fortunate for companies that have bought into what we're doing. All of this product, none of it was purchased. It was all donated, either by their vendors or their own company in particular. So we're building this up and moving on and some of this stuff, but we want kids to know how to work with a showroom, how to set up displays, how to do all the things that take place in the showroom. When kids go to work for distributors, they often start at the counter, they move to inside sales. Well, again, we have role plays here where inside sales people take phone calls, take orders, work with customers. Most of it's all phone work with inside sales. Occasionally they'll do takeoffs. We want them to learn how to do takeoffs because that's how people make money in this business, and that's one of the customer service, value-added services that we provide. So we have inside, and one of the things that I always had to do, I wanted my inside salespeople to watch the counter. If the counter got full, they could jump to the counter really quick. This particular area here is our outside sales office. One of the things that we have in here is an internal phone system. One of the things that students don't get much experience and really lack skills at when they go out to companies are phone skills. This is an internal phone system that doesn't go outside, but all the role plays include the phone system. So our inside sales role plays, the people come here, they work with their inside sales people. They also make sales calls to set up appointments at this particular desk. We always tell our sales class the only time they should be here is in the morning and in the evening. The rest of the time they better be on the road doing their job, creating value for the branch. When the outside salespeople, they make calls into this office and set up sales calls. Then they'll make a sales call here, and this is where they make sales calls. The other role plays that take place in here, this is the branch manager's office. So the branch manager then directs the employees, he directs the shipping, directs the inventory control, cycle counts, all the things that a branch manager is responsible for in a branch. So it's kind of a dual purpose office. Now another area of our branch is obviously the warehouse. Again, one of the companies that supports us provided all the racking for us. Not every distributor has all of these types of racking, but what we want our students to see is every type of racking system possible. And we wanted them to just be aware of what's available. So we have different role plays with each kind. So in our warehouse, our kids do picking, packing, even the simple things of learning to wrap, palletize, all of that are role plays that take place in our lab. And so they prepare things for shipping, they schedule shipping. In the warehouse, again, one of the things that we wanted to show our students, if you come over here, is the mezzanine, to show them how to use height.
Okay.
When you have a mezzanine, then they also have to learn how a conveyor system works and moving stuff up and down. Yes, ours is small, but it shows the concepts of how a warehouse could be run. Now, included in this, one of the things that's important for me, I try to teach them how to manage a lab, keep it clean, this has to be, every branch should be a show branch. And that's just my particular philosophy. For example, you see the tape dispensers? Kids will be wrapping, doing stuff, and they'll just put a tape dispenser on a counter. And I say, what's wrong with the lab? And they say, there's a tape dispenser missing somewhere. They say, how do you know? And I show them, I do things a certain way so that I can keep track. Hand cards. If hand cards aren't being used, they need to be returned to a specific spot. If I don't see the hand cart there, what do I know? It's better be being used. And so we teach them how to manage a quality lab, a branch, and that's really important.
Through generous donations from companies, students also receive training on forklift operation, automated pickers, and gain practice in the product training area. While it's impossible to provide training for every type of product, the Branch Simulation Lab seeks to provide as rounded an experience as possible. Role plays are a key part of the industrial distribution program at UNK, and the faculty use their real-world experience from years in distribution to develop scenarios and provide opportunity for students to use the skills learned in the classroom. For example, in one role-play encounter, two students were faced with the challenge of explaining why there was Chinese writing on the sample part they brought with them to a firm. While caught off guard, the students were able to use their training from the classroom to come up with a reason to explain to the customer, played by the coordinator of the UNKID program, Greg Benson. The lab in the hands of a high-quality faculty give UNK something special, according to Gary Hens, Director of Marketing at IBT.
It boils down to the instructors. They've all got real-world experience. They've been in purchasing. They've been in all different kinds of industry, and that's so valuable. When they're teaching the kids, they're using the same equipment that we're using. They're using a lot of the sales techniques that we use.
For more information about the University of Nebraska at Kearney Industrial Distribution Program, please visit their website at www.unkid.org.